Okay, so what we haven't talked about so far that you're going to be responsible for tomorrow on the test is circles. Now, there's a couple things about circles, some of which you probably remember, but some of which you may not remember. When you have a circle, there are a couple of different measurements that are important. The distance all the way across a circle is called the diameter. Shh. All right? So diameter is the distance across. Now, when we say across, we always mean through the middle. You don't need to write that down, but always know it's going through the middle. Then you have another measurement that goes that goes from the center to one edge, and that's something called the radius. So that's halfway across. Yes.
Are you filming this?
Yes.
Okay, good.
All right. So this is the radius. Now, diameter is just little d. Radius is little r. Okay? Now, the reason those measurements are important is because the formulas you're going to use for perimeter and area, it's not really perimeter because perimeter is adding up the sides, but circles don't have sides. Instead, circles have what are called circumference. And that is the distance around. Okay? Now, so you're going to be finding circumference of a circle, which means the outside. So that outer edge of the circle, all the way around, that's the circumference. And we're also going to be finding the area. Leave a little space there because I'm going to give you a formula for each one, and then I'll show you how easy it is. Okay? Now, for these, when you're dealing with circumference, you're going to be dealing with the diameter. When you're dealing with area, you're going to be dealing with the radius. So you've got to remember which one's which. All right, so first we'll look at circumference. Now again, circumference uses the diameter, which is always across, okay? And it uses a special measurement that we're going to need to talk about, and that is a ratio that you're always going to use for all circles, and you've heard this a million times. It uses pi, okay? You don't have to figure out pi, but you need to know how to use it. Now, your calculators have a pi key, so you can just do the pi key if you want to. But the circumference here, the circumference is just found by taking the pi times the diameter, okay? Now, and you have a key that has pi on it. So you just do pi and then times whatever the diameter is. Okay? If you don't know the diameter, if the diameter is all the way across and the radius is halfway across, then two radiuses would make a diameter. Right? Doesn't that make sense? Because one's halfway across and one's all the way across. So two of the radius would make one diameter. So radius is also half the diameter. So if I give you diameter, then you can just use that in the formula. But if I give you radius, you have to multiply the radius by what? 2 to get a diameter. All right? The radius is twice as big. So it's just pi times the diameter.
Wait, what is it?
Okay? The pi. All right. Now, it's on your calculator. Okay? No, we got to do the area. Now, for area, that's just another formula, but area involves the radius. So area is equal to pi times the radius squared. Now, there's a square key on your calculator, or you could say area is equal to pi times your radius times the radius again, because square just means radius times itself. So you could either use radius squared or radius times radius. All three of those things multiplied together. Okay? So there you go. So either pi times the radius squared or pi times radius times radius.